moderator, put a 1 in the chat box if the sound is sufficient. And we're going to get started right away. Put a 1 in the chat box if the sound is sufficient. The sound volume is sufficient. Put a 1 in the chat box if the sound is sufficient. Thank you. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. Good evening to all of you. For those of you that are new, welcome to all the new members of Let's Talk About It. I'm thinking that maybe you need to turn on your notifications. For those of you that are new members to Let's Talk About It, you may want to turn on your notifications so that you get notified when the stream is going live. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say that perhaps is the lag in terms of my new members. And there's many of you that are new members that I don't see you on the actual stream. So I'm guessing that perhaps your notifications are turned off on your phone. If they are, double check that when you see the stream, if you get the opportunity to see it after it's live streamed. If that's the case, again, turn on your notifications. That way you'll know when I go live. Okay, with that being said, to you that are new members, welcome. Welcome. And for those of you that end up watching the stream after the stream is live, I thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation. At whatever time you do decide or find the time to actually see the stream. I understand we all got busy schedules. I get it. I do. And with that being said, I understand. We have a very compelling topic tonight. A topic that is very prevalent in many homes, many families, many households, and amongst many women, black women in particular. This is an area of discussion that I'm going to go over tonight that, pardon me 1 second, folks. Pardon me 1 second.
This is kind of a love story.
Pardon me for that little outside interference. Again, as I was saying, this is a very compelling subject tonight. We're going to talk about a disturbing subject, but yet it affects so many of our communities and it affects so many families, mothers and daughters in particular, which leads to years, and I mean many years, of dysfunction unexplained, where you find young ladies who grow up into adulthood and they don't understand why their self-esteem is so low, or why they feel inadequate in so many ways and in so many areas of their life. I'm going to touch on some areas specifically related to mother and daughter tonight that leads to those same kind of dysfunctions, low self-esteem, inadequacies, where a young girl is found to believe in herself as to not be enough. So she spends most of her life trying to always prove something to someone as it relates to how she was raised. And in large part, how she was raised specifically by her mother. Let's talk about it. You see the subject tonight, folks. The subject. The modern woman is competing with her daughter. The sexual marketplace is closed. The last part of that subject is what I want to touch on during the course of this stream, which is going to lead to why the behavior is such as it relates to so many women, black women in particular, as it relates to their daughters, as their daughters are being raised. There's a very important article that was written by a young lady. Shout out to Carol McBride, PhD, from an article out of Psychology Today. She wrote an article, very compelling article, entitled Mothers Who Are Jealous of Their Daughters. And she went on to say, a mother's jealousy distorts a daughter's normal development. Just follow me. Key points. A narcissistic mother. And now the term narcissistic, I don't like to use that word lightly. That's a therapeutic term. And as a disclaimer, I am not a therapist. As a disclaimer, I'm in no way professionally trained to diagnose anyone with that term, narcissistic. So tonight, what I'm going to do, instead of diagnosing it as a therapist or as someone who is professionally trained, I'll use the term only in terms of behavior and behavior traits that line up with narcissistic behavior, narcissistic traits. She goes on to say, a narcissistic mother may perceive her daughter as a threat. When a mother envies and then criticizes and devalues her daughter, she diminishes the threat to her own fragile self-esteem. As a daughter analyzes what her mother appears to be jealous about, she comes to feel unworthy. Now, I'll say this. Any of you ladies who have daughters, a normal behavior and a normal characteristic when it comes from the place of a daughter, a mother, where her daughter is concerned. And I know many of you ladies who watch the stream now or will watch it later, you know exactly what I'm talking about in this particular stream because you were victim of the same type of treatment. Whether you're willing to admit it publicly or whether you admit it within yourselves, it has contributed to your behavior as it relates to relationships. It has contributed to your behavior as it relates to how you interact with individuals, and it has contributed to how you look and view your own self-worth and your own self-value. So just follow me. A normal healthy mothers, right? They're proud of their children and they want them to shine. But a narcissistic, in terms of traits, characteristics, and behavior, a narcissistic mother may perceive her daughter as a threat. If attention is drawn away from the mother, the child may suffer retaliation. Many ladies have experienced that in their growth, right? Put downs, punishments. The mother can be jealous of her daughter for many different reasons that are never disclosed while she's young enough to hear those reasons. And before she's able to process the reasons, even if they were given to her at an early age, she would not know how to process it. Okay? But these behaviors come about for many reasons. It could be because of her looks, her youth, material possessions that she may acquire as she get older, accomplishments as it relates to her education and her career path. All right, education, and even Even the girl's relationship with her father is sometimes a threat to a narcissistic mother who carries about these traits, behaviors. Okay? Follow me. This jealousy is particularly difficult for the daughter as it carries a double message. It carries two messages. One, do well so that mother is proud of your accomplishments. Here's the second message. But don't do too well or you will outshine me. So therein lies two double messages. Lies a double message, right? Now, while many people believe that to be envied, and many of us have had that distortion in thought, that many people believe that to be envied would be a desirable, powerful experience, right? If someone envies you, a lot of times we feel empowered because they envy us, you know? It makes us emboldened in our ego. It feeds the ego to know that someone is perhaps envious of us. But envy is not a good trait. It's not a really good trait. You would think that it is, but in reality, being envied, particularly because of this subject matter tonight, by one's own mother is unnerving, and for many ladies who have had to experience that in their growth and who currently still experience that, it's awful. It's awful. The daughter's sense of oneself canceled by disdain and criticism. Her goodness is questioned or labeled or made light of, which causes her to feel like her reality as a person is obliterated. As the daughter analyzes what her mother appears to be jealous about, she comes to feel unworthy. It makes no sense to the daughter that has to endure this, that her own mother would have these bad feelings about her. The daughter tries her best to make sense of the situation and decides that something must be wrong with who? With her. See, the accusation of not being better is not projected to the source from which the behavior or narcissistic behavior is coming from. Instead, it's internalized. And she believes that there's something wrong with her. The daughter's narcissistic mother, she typically finds it hard to discuss envy from their own mothers and find it even harder to come to terms with it. They usually do not see their own goodness enough to recognize material envy for what it is. Instead, they believe that they have done something wrong. If they have internalized this notion of not being good enough feeling, they don't see themselves as someone anyone would envy. See, their value is lowered. They've devalued themselves, right? The situation is crazy, making for the daughter, it creates hurdles of healthy development and building a sense of self. Now, why is this subject matter tonight so important? Why is it important? Because like every stream, I talk about relationships and I talk about the men that many women, black women in particular, say they want. This is the baggage of areas and issues in a woman's life, black women in particular, that she brings along with her. Like going to the airport, you carry many bags and you get to unload those bags in the baggage department. It's not quite that simple when you get into a relationship though. Because when you get into a relationship, you unload that baggage into the men that you say you want. You unload it into their baggage department. They in turn have to unload that baggage. And I'm speaking on the men that you say you want. I'm not talking about Pookie and Ray Ray and Nug Nug and Tim Tim. No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the men that you say you want, ladies. This is the baggage that you have to unload into their baggage department. That's what makes this subject matter tonight so important, because if you've already been damaged from a situation growing up as an adolescent into adulthood because your mother felt as though she needed to compete with you. And I'm going to say this to many of you ladies that are older, that hear this stream. Some of you have been guilty of doing this. Some of you have done this to your daughters. Some of you have done this. And sadly enough, they've had multiple relationships sabotaged by you. You knew that they were with decent men. They were with good men. But because your decisions personally have not been good ones, those bad decisions that you've had, which led to bad outcomes, hurt, disappointment, setbacks. You saw your daughter, who looked like a younger version of yourself, very attractive in most cases. And I've always said, I have some very handsome sons, very, very attractive sons, young men. I've always told them in a jokingly kind of way, you guys, you kind of look better than Daddy did when he was your age. But funny enough, sadly enough, I should say, many women, black women in particular, when you see your daughters and you find them very attractive, they look like you used to look. They're shapely. You still see the shape. Very attractive young ladies. They look like the younger version of yourself. You find yourself threatened, many women, black women in particular, you find yourself very threatened by your own daughter. In an effort to protect your own insecurities, and in an effort to protect and cover up your own inadequacies and your own failures as it relates to relationships that you've had in previous time before your daughter was even old enough to know how to spell her name. She's now finding herself affected with the blows and with the darts of your own inadequacies, of your own insecurities, and she does not, sadly enough, she does not know why. She thinks, perhaps again, like there's something wrong with me. What did I do? What have I done? What can I do to fix this? Why does mommy seem to not like me? Why does she seem not to love me? Why does she seem to be so angry with me? What is it that I need to do? What's wrong with me? And herein lies the problem. That low self-esteem and that need to please is what follows her throughout her entire life. It follows her through her teenage years. In many cases, what you find is a young lady in her teen years being very promiscuous. Very promiscuous. Because she couldn't get validation by words. She couldn't get validation by a hug or a simple, "I'm proud of you," with no strings attached. She's found that attention, however it comes, is good enough and it's sufficient. So how does that attention come to a young lady? It comes through sex. In most cases, all she needs is a young man to feed that low self-esteem, to feed that inadequacy, and to feed that feeling that she's not enough and what's wrong with me. All he needs to do is to show attention to her. Coming from that kind of environment, all she needs to do is have him show her any kind of attention whatsoever. Any kind of attention will do. Most cases, it's sex. So she finds herself very promiscuous, or she finds herself with the wrong crowd of girls who are already promiscuous, perhaps victims of the same thing I'm talking about tonight. The modern woman is competing with her daughter because she knows that the sexual marketplace for her is closed. She begins to compete not just with her daughter on outward things, in terms of how her daughter looks, in terms of how her daughter is shaped. How does that play out? How does that materialize in terms of her behavior? Again, how does this begin to play out? This begins to play out from a physical standpoint. Her daughter's attractive. Her daughter's very shapely. So what does a lot of mothers do? As opposed to being her mother, she begins to try to dress like her daughter. She begins to, if her daughter's wearing long extensions or weaves, her mother now, who may perhaps be in her 40s, late 40s, early 50s, mid 50s, and sometimes, sadly, even older. She begins to try to wear the same hairstyles her daughter wears, or she begins to try to wear the same facial decoratives, like the long eyelashes that her daughter wears. She tends to try to dress like her daughter. She tends to try to go to the same places her daughter goes, and perhaps even try to become a girlfriend in terms of behavior, not just with her daughter, but with her daughter's girlfriends. And then the young men that seem to circle around her daughter and her girlfriends, she tends to try to be in that circle, and sadly, you'll find her trying to flirt and being seductive and giving choosing signals to young men who are, at that point, young enough to be her son. They're the same age, perhaps, as her daughter. This is the outward competition. Why does this happen? It happens for so many different reasons, of which I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the stream. Bad decisions in her personal life before her daughter was even old enough to spell her name. Bad decisions in terms of the men that she went after or that she chose to come into her life, who perhaps weren't quality men, gave her bad outcomes. And with those bad outcomes come, again, setbacks, disappointments, pain, hurt. And to see her daughter, a younger version, a reflection of a younger version of herself, yet different in so many different aspects. She perhaps is more softer in nature, more pleasant in her personality. And as a result, her daughter is able to attract the kind of men that at the same age she was unable to attract. Therein lies the contempt. Therein lies the issue. And even if it's not done from a conscious standpoint, the subconscious is very powerful. It moves your behavior in so many different ways. So she begins to act out different things that shows and proves that she is in fact in competition with her daughter. The daughter sees it, but the daughter wants to maintain a relationship with her mother. She sees it, she's uncomfortable with it, and in some cases she's even embarrassed by it. But she endures it anyway. And she gets the validation of her mother competing with her from her girlfriends who say to her, "Man, you got a cool mother. Your mother is so cool. She's so down to earth. She's down. She's down." But is she a mother worth respecting as a mother? If she's doing that, not realizing that she's actually hurting her daughter. Her daughter may smile. Her daughter may even laugh. Her daughter may even go along to get along. But is she 100% pleased? Is she 100% proud? No, she's not. Ladies, if you have done that and More importantly, if you are doing that, stop it. Stop it. The sexual marketplace may or may not be closed for you. Give her the opportunity, give her the chance to do that which you perhaps failed to do at her age. At her age. Every good parent, mother or father, regardless of our failures, regardless of our setbacks, regardless of how many times we dropped the ball, we want, I'm talking about good parents, we want our children to not just be good. No, that's not good enough. We don't want them just to be good. We don't want them to just be better. We want them to be better than us. That's what we really want. That is the satisfaction at the end of life when your turn to leave this planet. This is what you want to know. You want to know that your children are better than you. Not only are they better than you, but you want to know that they accomplished more than you in this one life. You want them to know that they took advantage of the time they had on this planet, utilized it, and budgeted that time wisely so that by the time they get to an end of life, they have accomplished many of the things that you wished you would have accomplished. This is what you want to do. This is the end goal with any of us that have children. So many young ladies are absolutely miserable, and they don't know how to put their finger on the misery that they feel. So many young ladies have a low self-esteem, and they don't even know how to put their finger on where the low self-esteem came from. So many ladies are defining relationships based on and love and affection based on sex, and they don't know why, because it's all giving them bad outcomes and they don't know how to fix it. You know, one thing about fruit, it comes from a tree, but the tree in and of itself started from a root. Every problem has a root. And likewise, many young ladies who are under the parenting of a narcissistic mother who's in competition with her own daughter because she sees from her eyes a younger version of herself, more shapely, more attractive, a better attitude, a better personality, and innocent. She has no children yet, and she's open for relationship. For so many mothers, this becomes a threat to what she knows she cannot recoup. She cannot recoup those days. Those days are gone. The sexual marketplace doors have closed on her. She hasn't developed a better attitude. She's gotten worse. She hasn't developed a better personality. It's gotten worse. She hasn't become a better experience for a man. No. It's gotten worse. She hasn't become non-combative. It's gotten worse. She hasn't become non-confrontational. It's gotten worse. Everything about her decisions in her younger years when she was the age of her daughter and made bad decisions has gotten worse in her old age. And now again, she's looking at the younger version of herself. She sees that this younger version of herself has a shot at getting everything that she lost, every man that she missed, all the good ones that she let get away. She sees her daughter has the potential of doing not only that, but even more. and she can't take it. So in her own dysfunction and in her own narcissistic behavior, she seeks to destroy and to sabotage every opportunity. You would be surprised how many daughters are married, got wonderful husbands, and the mother cannot seem to keep her nose out of her daughter's business as it relates to her husband and their marriage. Constantly got her nose in their marriage. Constantly. Always with something negative to say to her daughter about her husband, when she knows nothing about what's happening within those closed doors. What is her objective? Is to drop a seed in her daughter's head to make her view her husband negatively and thereby bring about a negative outcome for herself, for her daughter. You remember, I will say this, you've heard me say this in other streams. Single women keep single women single. I'm going to append something to that. Single women want married women, even in some cases, if it's their daughter, to become single again. Because if they have to live the rest of their life alone and single, a dysfunctional, narcissistic mother, her end goal objective is to see that her daughter winds up in the same situation. And many mothers who are like this, who have been successful at sabotaging their daughters' relationships or marriage. Now the daughter's sitting on the couch in her mother's house. And they're now buddies and pals, and she's finding that her mother is acting different towards her now. After helping her to sabotage, assisting in her sabotaging, aiding in her sabotaging her own relationships and her own marriage. It started when she was in high school, when she had a boyfriend. Sabotaged that. I don't like him. Didn't know why she said it. Didn't have a reason. Just didn't like him. This is a sensitive subject for many of you ladies because you know that you have experienced this. It's a sensitive subject for many of you ladies who know that you have experienced this or you're still experiencing this. What do you do? How do you get around this? Well, if you're too young to move out, you have to develop a sincere sense of self, absent from what anybody, including your mother, is saying to you. Develop a clear sense of self to where you know what you want and focus on that. I didn't say become disrespectful to your mother. No, don't do that. Because that'll just add to you becoming just like her. If she's dysfunctional, if she's narcissistic, then you need to become something different. You need to get a clear sense of self to where you can focus on what it is, young lady, that you want to do with yourself and with your life. Get a clear focus. If you in fact want to be a wife at some point in your life, then you need to focus on that. And I mean you need to focus on that as an important aspect of your future going forward, in addition to your educational pursuits. Don't listen to any woman. I don't care if it's your aunt, and I'm talking to you young ladies. Don't listen to your aunt, your single aunt. Don't listen to your single mother. Don't listen to your single cousin. Don't listen to your single friends. Don't listen to any woman that's single and have had bad outcomes bad results, based on bad decisions, and you find yourself in a situation where you have not experienced any of those things, don't take their advice. They have nothing for you at all. You want the best outcomes as you go forward. Absolutely. The modern woman is competing with her daughter. I've seen it personally. I've seen it. I know situations like it. So this is not coming from a vacuum. This is absolutely a fact. And it's more prevalent than you even realize. In so many households, so many, and with so many mothers, black women in particular, it's very prevalent, very sad, very dysfunctional. But it in fact is true. So young ladies, focus on getting a clear, genuine sense of self. Realize what you are, who you are, and what you want. That way, when you make your choices about who you want to become and who you want to be as a woman, you get not only your education, but you start to focus on the things that men actually want as it relates to a wife, so that in fact, if that's your desire, if that's what you aspire to do as your life goes forward outside of your education or your career path, once you find that out, you'll find out a few things, and it won't require money. I say it in every stream. It won't require money. No. And it will be in direct contradiction to what any dysfunctional, narcissistic mother is subjecting on their daughter because of their own past failures or their own bad outcomes. Again, for you young ladies, what does a man want? Keep this in your head, because it's not what society told you. It's definitely not what your single friends are going to tell you. It's not what your single auntie is going to tell you. It's not what your single mother is going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. He wants a few things, and you don't have to pay for it. You just have to be determined to take on those characteristics and those traits. In addition to how you pursue your career and your career path. Make both, not one, a priority over the other. Okay, Charles, what should be the priority outside of my education and my career path? What should be the priority is you finding a husband and getting to the end of life. What should come in addition to that priority? And that should be your education and whatever particular career path you choose. Because I'm going to tell you something. Women, black women in particular, in our community, we have a lot of lawyers. They have husbands. We have a lot of doctors. They have husbands. We have a lot of successful women in this country who have not been unsuccessful in finding the men that they say they want. But it's funny how in the black community, black women in particular, if you forge forward towards the career path or education that you desire, why is it that so many of our women find themselves single even after acquiring the career that they choose, acquiring the income that they desire? They still find themselves single. Well, I just gave an aspect. I gave just a caveat, and there's many caveats that contribute to why this is. But this is one area that in fact is a reality. The modern woman is competing with her daughter because she knows that the sexual marketplace, and she also knows that her options in that sexual marketplace have closed. Those doors have closed. So she wants to ensure that the doors close on her daughter. Want to be her friend. Want to be her home girl instead of her mom. Now, I will say this, young ladies, if you're under that situation, this is not a license, this talking point. If you listen to this later or if you're listening to it now, this is not a license, nor is it an agreement for you to become disrespectful to your mother. No, you respect your mother. You respect your mother. I will tell you that, because you only got one. You respect your mother, regardless of dysfunction and regardless of any narcissistic behavior. Respect your mother. How you can insulate yourself from it so that you don't develop the negative internal feelings about yourself in terms of feeling like you're not worth it or feeling like what's wrong with me, and then you develop this mentality of wanting to please everybody, becoming a people pleaser because you're insecure. You don't have to get to that place. If you get a clear, genuine sense of self about yourself, there's nothing wrong with you. Nah, there's nothing wrong with you. If you're attractive, you're blessed to be attractive. If you're shapely, you're blessed to be shapely. If you're in school and you're in high school, or stay in school, keep your grades up. Keep focusing on your education at the age when you're in high school. But keep in mind that you don't want to repeat the same activity, nor do you want to repeat the same behavior, nor do you want the same outcomes that perhaps your mother is currently experiencing or that she has experienced. And I tell you, you know what those outcomes are because you grew up in that house. You want to focus on getting a clear sense of yourself. If you've been told you're not valuable, I'm going to tell you something different. You are. If you've been told that you're not good enough, I'm going to help you out. You're good enough. You're good enough. If you've been told that you're inadequate and your self-esteem is down in the basement or the sub-basement, pick up your self-esteem. Get it back. Get a sense of self. All right? Get it back. Grab a hold of your superpower, which is your femininity, and discard any sense of masculinity that you get from any female that you encounter. That way you will get the outcomes that you say you want going forward. And understand this, that if you are experiencing this with your mother, you are not alone. Because the modern woman is competing with her daughter because she knows the sexual marketplace is closed. But yours isn't. The sexual marketplace is open for you, but you have to be the things and the attributes that men want. What do they want? They want you to stay fit, so you make sure you stay on top of your shape. If you shapely now, you make sure you stay on top of it, ladies, young ladies. If you found yourself overweight, get control of that. Get control of that. Men are visual. Don't let nobody steal your opportunity by making you believe that if you're overweight, that you're sexy and you're pleasingly plump. No. You're pleasingly plump to who? Probably not the men that you want. You can do better. Stay on top of your shape. Men want fit. Don't let yourself become bitter. Don't let yourself become angry. Don't let yourself become argumentative and confrontational. Now, I want you to cast away those kind of personalities because it's not going to get you the right outcome that you say you want going forward. A man wants a woman that's fit, friendly, cooperative, non-confrontational, easy to get along with, a good experience. And you can get all of those attributes and all of those traits, and you can put yourself at the top of the heap of the sexual marketplace. Your options will be much, much higher than those that are around you that made you feel that you were inadequate. Those of you that grew up in situations like I described during the course of this stream, the modern woman is in competition with her daughter. Competition with her own daughter because of failed outcomes, because of bad decisions. Now she finds herself at an age, up in age, and she sees a younger version of herself. More attractive in most cases. More shapely in a lot of cases. More friendly in a lot of cases. Softer in a lot of cases. Easier to get along with in many cases. And when she finds her daughter in relationships, her objective is to sabotage those options. Sabotage those opportunities. Young ladies, get a strong sense of self and what it is that you personally want. As I close, again, focus. Two things. Focus on relationships, if that's what you want. If you want a strong heterosexual relationship, that's what you want. If that's what you want, understand what the men that you say you want. And I'm talking to my young ladies. Focus on getting a strong sense of self, keeping yourself fit, stay friendly regardless, stay easy to get along with, stay a good experience. How you'll know you're a good experience for a man is if you're a good experience with anybody. Because how we do anything is how we do everything. In most cases, you get exactly who you are. You attract who you are. Understand that what you want to attract in terms of a relationship, you will have to reflect that. You will have to be that in order to attract it. If you're not that, you will get whatever you are. See, bad outcomes for so many women, for black women in particular, every outcome, I don't care what that outcome is, negative or positive, those outcomes are reflective of who you are. That's it. That's it. Not his fault, not what he did. You attract who you are. You attract what you are. All of us do, male and female. So if you want better outcomes, ladies, again, get a strong sense of self. Focus on what it is that you actually want going forward as it relates to relationships and the men that you say you want, for my young ladies specifically. Focus on relationships and focus on your education as well. Isolate, insulate yourself from the foolishness and the noise, whether it comes from within your own home or whether it comes from outside. Because, again, I want the best outcomes for you, ladies, and I want the best outcomes for us who want you. Don't let your upbringing and what you experienced in your home with your mother, who may have been dysfunctional and narcissistic, who found herself competing with you your entire life, and who even today as an adult, you still find that she's still competing with you, even in old age. You would be surprised how much of this buffoonery is going on. Stay focused. Stay focused, ladies. You know? And with that being said, I am your host. For those of you that are, again, new to the stream, shout out to the new members of the group. I can't call all of your names, but I absolutely thank you for joining the group. I hope to have your participation in getting on the group. If you like the content, share it. Tell somebody about it. You know, help the stream grow and help the message get out. Because I will tell you this, for many of you that find the stream and the content uncomfortable, you'd be surprised how many won't feel like you. What you think is junk is somebody else's treasure. The talking points are real. They're real. If they didn't exist, I'd never be able to say it. They exist. They're real. And many of our people and many others are experiencing it right to this very day. They're living the outcomes of what I talk about in my streams. They're living the negative and or positive outcomes of every single stream that I've ever spoke on. Again, with that being said, I'm your host, Charles Chambers. This has been another episode of Let's Talk About It. I want to shout out to those that got on the stream tonight. Let's see if I can see you tonight. I always have an issue with seeing you. Shout out to Gail. Shout out to Margaret. Love you. Shout out to Dwayne. Good to see you on the stream tonight, brother. Shout out to Althea Marshall. Shout out to Abdul. And shout out to anyone who I missed. Like I always say, charge it to my head and not to my heart. I appreciate all of you. We're going to keep doing this. This content is very necessary. Again, I hope that everyone has a fantastic remainder of the night. I pray that all of you have a fantastic day tomorrow at your respective jobs or careers. Again, with that being said, we are out.